Hello everyone, this is kind of a response video. Guess what? Big mouth, loudmouth woman of the year has banged up again, this time about asylum seekers. So I thought I'll just play what she's written and then I'll give my rebuke.
Are you wondering why so many migrants are trying to come across the Channel, one of the biggest shipping lanes in the whole of the world? Well, it's because of this. It's because your government, the British government, advertises to these asylum seekers what you'll get. Let me tell you what you'll get if you're an asylum seeker in the UK, whether you're actually an asylum seeker or whether you were perfectly safe in France, for example. You'll get somewhere to live, a cash allowance or both. You can choose whether you want a flat, a house, a hostel or bed and breakfast. How lovely is that? I wonder if we serve it to them in bed. I do hope so. Cash support, you'll get £37.75 for every person in your household to help you pay for things like food, clothing and toiletries. I am actually reading this from the government website. Your allowance will be loaded onto a debit card each week to make it easy for you to spend what you want to spend. Isn't that nice? And even if you've been refused asylum seeker, you're a failed asylum seeker in my country, your country, you'll be given somewhere to live and £35.39 per person on a payment card. This is what we're handing out, and then we go on to tell them you may get free National Health Service, such as to see a doctor or get hospital treatment. You'll get free prescriptions for medicine, free eye tests, free glasses. I ask you, as a British citizen, as someone that's paid in all their lives, do you get free prescriptions? Have you been offered a free place to live or somewhere that gives you bed and breakfast? Have you been offered £300 maternity payment just because you're having a baby? I thought not. These are people who are...
Okay, right, I'm going to answer questions. She said, do you get free prescriptions? The answer is yes, I do. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and as part of being a type 1 diabetic, I get free prescriptions. I also can get somewhere free to live because I am on ESA. She's also mentioned a few interesting comments. I'm not going to keep going with this because basically a lot of what she said is lack of knowledge. Once again, she just picked up a note. Now, free NHS prescription. She talks about free NHS to go see a doctor. Yes, this would be the same doctors that you can go to yourself if you are ill. If you are living in this country, you can go to these doctors. Now, she has the option of going to a paid doctor because she's got the money from the likes of her reality TV show appearances, her funding from the Zionistic rebel media, so she can pay for it if she wants. And also as well, now I've seen some comment on her Facebook tweet, on her tweets, about people saying they are homeless. Now, did you actually know that legally in this country, if you are declared homeless, then they have to provide you with some sort of support if you have it. Whether you put on a waiting list, that's different. When she talks about bed and breakfast, homeless people can get bed and breakfast if you are clinically homeless. You can get a lot, but these are like for emergency situations of people with extreme care, if they have a debilitating illness, for example, or they are extreme care. Now, when we talk about asylum seekers, she has to really be talking purely about what she determined or defined as an asylum seeker, because a migrant, an economic migrant, is a completely different thing. Now, having known a few refugees myself, I'm not going to tell you their names because a lot of them are political refugees and their life could be in danger. This is something Katie does not understand about life being in danger, because she's got in this big right-wing media bubble where she got the freedom of the press to say what she wants, whether we like it or not. Now, the countries that these guys come from are completely different. These are countries from really extreme right-wing governments. They could be Somalia, for example, where there is a lot of civil unrest and danger. It could be where ISIS has taken over. These people could be Christians who are now having to flee because ISIS or Islamic State may have taken over their land. They may also be homosexual, LGBT. There is many different reasons why people flee their own country, and the fact that she's not understand that people are willing to risk their lives to get here. Why? It would be so easy to just hop on a plane, I suppose, and do it. But when you are that desperate, when you are willing to risk your own life, you have to think to yourself, is it for economic reasons, or is it because they are genuinely terrified for their own lives? Now, I've talked about maternity leave and things. We have childhood benefits for kids. Also, when they talk about the allowance, it's worth bearing in mind that this allowance is a lot less than job seekers allowance. And on top of someone who gets job seeker allowance, which is about £70, give or take, they get, as part of it, they can claim for housing benefit while they're unemployed. They can claim for children, but they get a bit more. This is why it does not make sense, because she's complaining about something she does not really understand, and she thinks she's right. Now, another tactic she is using here is she's using the us v them tactic that I've seen a lot of right-wingers use, such as Tommy Robinson, for example, where it's like, well, if it was refugees or homeless people, who would you give the money to? The thing is, though, I always give one answer. There is a third answer. I would rather not see anyone without a house. It's policy of the government that have done that, not because we've got loads of migrants. It's a policy that we don't have enough social housing. That's the issue. Nothing to do with asylum seekers who are genuinely seeking refuge. And from speaking to asylum seekers, I will tell you that their life is not as glamorous as Katie Hopkins makes out. She has missed a few points. Out of that money that they're given, they have to buy clothes. They would probably rely on a lot of donations for clothing. They would have to rely on donations for furniture. They maybe, if they're very, very lucky, might have a television or a radio. I was speaking to one person, I can't remember who he is, but I won't say his name. And they said that they want to go to the gym, they want to get healthy, but they have no funds to do so. Now, this is the kind of goal-weighted lifestyle that Katie believes that they should have. She believes that she is patriotic, but at the same time she has turned around and said that she does not believe people should be taxed, pay taxes. Yet, nothing more patriotic than paying your tax, paying your way. While at the same time, she makes a living from vilifying those who are not like her. She is funded by a Zionistic organisation, and it's been proven that rebel media is Zionist. Their ideology is Zionist, and you only have to look at the paper trail to know that. Yeah, of course, Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins is also famous for two things. Number one, walking off a reality TV show because she thought she was going to lose it. She would have rather have walked away from this reality TV show than stay there and be sacked. That's the kind of person we're dealing with. Someone who would rather just make her look like she was in the right rather than someone leaving. She knew she'd lost it. That's why she left. And of course, the other thing is spouting hateful abuse. By the way, Katie Hopkins is not so great on research, as we've actually found out from previous posts she's put up, one being about Jack Monroe, and she nearly lost her house because she was so stupid enough to not do basic research, but the likes of Katie Hopkins and Tommy Robinson and all the rest, they just don't care.
But I couldn't find what you're looking for.
There's my Amazon going, but now ask yourself this one question. Does Katie really understand what she says? Is she doing it for her own publicity? Does she really think these things, or is it just because she's making controversy? It's weird because she believes that. I actually don't believe that either she's playing a very weird game of trying to make as many controversial statements as possible and is just fake in general, or she actually believes that. Now, I don't understand what's worse here, whether it's her belief that she is that way, or that she's just playing the right wings for mugs. Same as Tommy Robinson. There's evidence that they are playing them for mugs. But at the end of the day, I'm more worried about people being attacked because they've listened to her spiteful arguments. We saw this with Tommy Robinson with the Finsbury Park hit and run. And we have to be very vigilant. But there you go. Thank you.